Okay, wow. I originally didn't have plans to make a video like this, but then the release date announcements just kept on piling up. Now I'm at the point where I've had to cut out some games because there are just too many things to play in September. More specifically, I'm not going to include Mirthwood or Chef RPG, which come out on the 11th and 12th respectively, because those are two games I've covered on here already. But just know that I am excited for both of those in addition to all of these. So in order of release, here are a bunch of indie games coming out next month that I really want to play. And first up, out on September 3rd is Parcel Corps, a super stylized and over-the-top bicycle delivery game. Race through the city, delivering packages in the nick of time, speeding through shortcuts, and pulling off a few tricks along the way as you compete to become the best courier of all time. There is a demo up for the game, which y'all know I love to see, and in it you'll get a good sense of the mission structure, bike handling, and the overall tone of the game, which is completely unserious and filled with weird characters that have even weirder requests. It's kind of like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk mixed with a little bit of Borderlands and Sunset Overdrive. Quite the combination. And I do like biking / extreme sports games, so this is very much up my alley. Just like the alleys you'll be maneuvering through in Parcel Corps. Or if you'd prefer a plant horror boss rush game, also with a demo, then look forward to Perennial Order on September 6th. The atmosphere here is this super dark fairy tale pop-up book kind of thing. All the enemies you fight are based on plants and have some pretty cool attacks. The combat controls are also very interesting. It's like a twin-stick shooter, except you have a sword, so you use your right stick to aim and can do so kind of separate from whichever direction you're moving. Also, this is one of those games where you die in one hit, and because of this, I sure had my fair share of death and disappointment while playing the demo. All in all, it's a super dreary and unforgiving game, but there's something about it that is also completely compelling. Third one in a row with a demo, this is Caravan SandWitch. It was only announced back in May, and after giving it a go, I immediately knew that I was gonna have to play the full thing. And I think 4 months from the initial announcement to the full release is the least amount of time I've ever had to wait for a game. Quite refreshing, really. This one is super crisp looking, all the colors just pop off the screen, and in it you'll spend most of your time driving, running, jumping, and climbing all around rocky cliffs, deserts, and abandoned structures. Driving your yellow van around feels so good, you can really use it to climb up some pretty treacherous terrain, and I'm very curious to see all the ways that we can use it to solve puzzles as shown off in these trailers. That game is out on September 12th, as is Hollowbody, a survival horror game set in an abandoned British city. The game did have a demo at one point, it doesn't anymore unfortunately, but of course I have to include at least one survival horror game in this list. I think gameplay and what all that entails won't be a surprise to anyone, so instead here's a bit of a look at the story setup. You're a black market shipper who's just crash landed in the exclusion zone looking for your missing partner. What is this place and why is it walled off? That's not immediately clear, but I'd guess it has something to do with a virus that turns people into these zombie-adjacent creatures. There are some more sci-fi elements, but the area is in ruins, so most of this tech won't be in working order anyways. Ultimately, it's up to you to figure out how to survive and escape. The following week, on the 17th, we'll be able to jump into the storybook tale of a small hero named Jot, who just so happens to have a very unique power. He can jump out of the pages of his book and into the real world. Already a very cool premise with tons of possibilities, mixing 2D and 3D environments, magical puzzle shenanigans, and just a grand old adventure. Also, bonus points for playing as a very small character in a regular-sized world. Very It Takes Two meets Toy Story. And if you're only gonna buy one of these games next month, why not make it 50 in one? This is UFO 50, a collection of 50 full-fledged games, not mini-games, all created by a fictional game studio in the 80s. Some games are sequels to other games in the collection, and various characters appear in multiple titles as part of this shared continuity, as it's called. How cool is that? All the games are unlocked right from the start, so you can play them in any order and skip out on any that aren't your cup of tea. We've got sports games, arcade games, puzzle games, platformers, RPGs, dungeon crawlers. Literally everything you could want in a game because it contains every type of game. This one's out on September 18th, and I think it's gonna be a pretty big hit. And now I have a few honorable mentions. 2 games coming out of early access and into 1.0. Satisfactory, which I've had in my library for years at this point, just waiting for this moment, will be out on September 10th. I'm both nervous and excited to jump in because I am afraid that this game will take over my life for the rest of the year probably. It always has super fun trailers and everyone else seems to love it, so why not jump in on the fun? The other game is Shadows of Doubt on the 26th. It's the totally gorgeous voxel detective game you may have heard me talking about a long time ago. Sort of an immersive sim type deal where you have to solve murders and do whatever's necessary to catch the culprit. The cases and the world itself are both procedurally generated, and I'm very impressed that this ambitious of an idea actually works. So best of luck to the devs here and every game mentioned in this video. If you saw something you liked, please go follow the games on whatever social platforms you use and spread the word. September is going to be one hell of a month.